Well, hello everybody. This is Erica. Thank you for joining me. We bought our dated 90s home a little over 2 years ago, and we've been doing odds and ends, trying to fix it up and modernize it and give this house a little bit new life. We enjoy this house so much. I had this wonderful idea to put a alfresco dining moment on our porch. As I look outside my kitchen window, I felt like it would be such a pleasant experience to just sit outside in my porch, away from the bugs, but still get some fresh air and just, eat outside, do some crafts, maybe a little bit of, gardening projects, or work on some computer work, just to have some fresh air and sit on my porch. And I just thought a really cute dining table would be the ideal way of doing it. And I was very inspired by Pretty in the Pines. She got this like vintage iron woodard, I think they call it, table. Here's a image of her front porch. I went scouring on Facebook Marketplace. I absolutely loved it. I had to have one of my own, and she actually bought a second one that she uses for her gardening, and she put a stone table on it with some shelves outside on the side of her house. I thought that's so cool. Now I want something else like that too. Just super inspired. But I had to have my own table, so I started looking on Facebook Marketplace. I looked for stuff that was in color, didn't have to be white already. I could spray paint it. The condition was mostly what I was looking for, but also see rusty, still 450. 60 bucks, not so bad. But some things were like this one was 80 bucks in still good condition. I really didn't want the fabric, but that was a little too far of a drive. I really wanted iron top. I didn't want a glass top. But I knew the right piece would come along, the right time, the right price, and I sure did get lucky. I found one for $50, and it was painted this brownish reddish color, and it came with cushions, which I wasn't ideal, and it came with a glass top, which wasn't ideal, and it was a little bit bigger. It was a 48 inch, not a 42 inch. But you know what? The chair detail was amazing. It was really heavy duty, and 50 bucks. I had to have it. When I got there, the lady was super nice, and she knew that I had some work to do to it. So she actually gave it to me for $30, and I was like, okay. And I still had some money to invest in it. I had to get lots of spray paint. I had to get new wood. I had to get new fabric, and I had to get new seat cushions, like the foam. So I had my work cut out for me, but my initial investment was 30 bucks, and I probably would have spent that money on a more expensive set anyways to fix it up as well. If it, had cushions and stuff too. So I think I really did get lucky on the base price for the piece, and it has a lot of detail. I'm super happy with it. So I I got some wire bristles, and I'm scraping off all the loose metal that's chipping off from the old paint, and just it's been sitting outside at this lady's house for who knows how long, and we just need to give it a good brushing before we start the spray paint process. So we laid down some cardboard under the feet to protect the feet from the grass and make it an easier application for spraying without the grass getting in the way of the spray paint. And we were able to, have a good visual on the feet. So we started scraping those. This one was probably the worst foot, and we had to do some repair on it later because it was just so fragile. And in the end, we're still not going to use this chair. We've tucked it in the back, so it's not going to be used as often. But man, I tell you, thank gosh I had these wire bristles. Look how easy this came off, and it made the spray painting process go on so much better. And I'm glad that I did it. It was definitely worth a few minutes of time to do that. We had to kind of go around and just scrape all the legs and all the little areas that had chipping paint and rusty areas that were just peeling up, just for a smoother application. And after we did that, we started the spray painting. We picked out some white Rust-Oleum to keep it protected, because it was, even though it's going to be on our porch, it's still going to be out in the weather. Here's a picture of what we used. It was a gloss protective enamel and just a basic white. So much for protecting the grass. Well, also from keeping the grass off the feet. So it wasn't completely a wasted effort. But
our grass is a little bit white temporarily until it grows out. It's been quite windy, so it's been a little bit challenging. It was taking the paint pretty well at first, but there's lots of nooks and crannies, so then we started eating up through the rest of the paint. So the hubby went back out to Home Depot to get 3 more cans because we want to flip them over and then try to touch up the areas that, because we were going from a dark color, that just didn't get that great of a job, and I'm going to have to touch up. I'm going to have to go back and do a little bit better on some of the areas that are flaking and then touch up the paint in those spots. It's looking really good. Very cottage vibey. This is what I'm going for. It looks so nice out here. Dog ball in the yard. We got the big sheet of plywood. We got outdoor foam. It's called new foam. It's supposed to be better water resistant because they'll drain better than a regular foam, which would hold the moisture. So it's going to prevent mold and mildew from collecting in there. And then we picked out some outdoor fabric. It wasn't our first choice, but our first choice didn't have any in the region. It would have been ship only, 4 to 7 business days, and we just really wanted to get this project done. So husband went back out to get more spray paint, also some little rubber grippies to keep the glass attached to the metal more securely, because we do have a toddler and the glass is always a little scary. Wasn't our first choice for a topper, but we got these chairs and table for $30 off Facebook Marketplace. It would have been $50. This foot is concerning me, so I'm gonna get some spray foam and try to fill it in just to kind of solidify it a little more. The tip I saw on a documentary where they were trying to preserve an old Hollywood movie in the desert, and as they were excavating like old Sphinx things from the movie, something where they drained the sea, and they sprayed the back of it just so they could support it because it was falling apart as they were excavating it, because it was been under the ground for so long that the environment was destroying it. But I could just see this one cracking right away, so I'm going to use that tip to kind of support the foot, and we'll put this chair near the spot that doesn't want to get sit in the most, so it gets less use. And then maybe some kind of foot booties or something to underneath to kind of support the feet so they're not grinding just on the metal all the time. Maybe stick something underneath them. I don't know, be foam or plastic. I'm not sure what will work. Told my husband just to look and see what they have. And then we picked out a green outdoor fabric that's a little more vintage inspired. We were hesitant on the patterns. We were having a hard time making the decision. We weren't going to go with the solid pattern, but the good thing about the solid pattern is it'll be from the choices that we had to choose. My husband didn't want anything with stripes because he was worried about them not being lined up properly when we staple gun them. I think we could have done it, but he was worried about it. So he said no stripes. The patterns that were there, I just wasn't feeling. So this shade of green will, I think, really fit the vibe. And then I could always pick out some tablecloths, which I did find some on Amazon that I'm interested in. A tablecloth with a more neutral, less crazy chair pattern. I wanted to do a pattern tablecloth, and if we do 2 patterns that just don't match, it'll be a little harder to have choices. And I think it'll tide us over longer until we get, tired of it. So far so good. Lots of projects. And then we did get some more black spray paint, Rust-Oleum, to touch these up because they were starting to rust a little bit. They had been in our porch. They used to be outside at our old house and the house before that where my mother-in-law lived before she gave it to us, and it probably hasn't been painted since she had them, so we're giving it another black coat so now they're back outside in the full sun, and it's going to get beat up a little bit more, so we're going to give them a fresh coat too. Here is the green fabric that we picked, and this is the outdoor foam. It's called new foam. It's a 2-inch thickness, but as you can see, the lady mentioned that it can drain faster because it's more, I don't know if she used the word fibrous. It's got more layers. It's thinner, so the water can easily dry up a little better. And then this is outdoor fabric. It's not like slippery or shiny. It's not vinyl or anything, but it should help prevent more mold and moisture than other fabric. We had been looking at fabric that was for quilting, and she's like, no, not letting you do that. I'll get those on, and then we got a huge sheet of plywood, which we found out to be cheaper than kind of pre-cut pieces.
So now that all the wood has been cut, we cut all the green fabric, all the foam, which the foam was so difficult to cut. We end up having to go through a different staple gun because the one we were using was just too difficult, but we had another one that worked a lot better, and we got everything stapled. Not beautiful underneath, but it's done. We had to figure out which piece went back to what chair because they were all just slightly different shape. I think they turned out awesome. They're not screwed in, so they're easy to pull up. So if we ever want to change the fabric, we just do that again. But everything's been touched up. We got it painted. We got new wood. We got new foam. We got new fabric. We tried to do our best to repair that foot. We got new felt pads on the bottom of that. We've wiped the tabletop down, which you know, always needs wiped down now that it's on the porch. But there's a little before picture, what it used to look like, so we could test to see how it was going to fit in the room. And we have since been working on the porch more. We got a pressure washer that we're going to be cleaning the old cement. We've removed the old ripped curtains. They've gotten ripped through storms. So we want to get some new ones, but we've just taken the back ones down for now. We still have some more work to do. It was a fun process, and I'm really happy with the turnout. It's really a great motivation to kind of see the potential of what the porch can be for us. And, we haven't really done much to it since we moved in. So this was a nice first step. And I am in love with the table. We're out there all the time, sitting there, working on the computer, having coffee on the weekends in the morning, and just getting fresh air. My cat likes to sit out there. I've since put some little tiny throws over the chair where she sits to keep it a little cleaner. Super happy with it. Was a little bigger, but you know, that's what a unique detail those chairs are. I mean, it was the right table at the right time, the right price, a little bit of labor, but we love it. Thank you for joining us. Bye.